Howdy, howdy, howdy. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's been a fucking while. Man, I'm telling you, bronchitis is the devil. Let me be the first to tell you. So sorry about my absence in the last couple weeks. I think it's been going on almost 3 weeks now since we've uploaded anything with me in it or done any streams or anything. So I do apologize for my absence. Luckily, my lovely wife Christa has been holding it down with her 100 baby challenge on The Sims 4. So if you're not caught up on that yet, make sure to head over to Adjective Noun Gaming on YouTube and catch up on it. And fucking watch it. And that voice, as you know and love by this point, is Buddy Ben. And we are back for some more Sunset and Stardew today. How's it going, Buddy Ben?
It's going alright, buddy. It's already 9 o'clock in this dumb game.
Yeah, it is. So I think what we're going to do this time is we're going to set something for me to do so I don't just wander around aimlessly and talk like I did last time.
Alright.
So what should we focus on now? It's what season are we in? We're in
17th day of summer?
I think so. I'm picking some
No,
flowers.
spring.
Spring? Yeah, that would make sense because we got some tulips here.
Say where we are. Oh boy.
Do I need to keep tulips for any reason, or did I just buy these?
I don't think so. I think
Okay.
we just bought them to plant them.
Okay. All right. Well, in the meantime, I will continue. I was gonna say we can work towards building something if you want me to gather some supplies or whatnot.
Let's build some bee houses.
Some beehives.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll start off the conversation this week. We need to be picking berries too. At least I'm gonna pick some berries for like when we go in the mines and stuff because I never have food,
Right.
so I feel like that'll be a good because I've got 82 of them now. So, all right, I'm gonna sell these tulips.
If we don't have some tappers already.
Okay, so we usually on this program, I know it's been a while, so you might have forgotten. I know I forgot about it until I thought down and thought about it. Until I thought down.
Thought down, Tatiana.
Thought down, Tatiana. Oh my God, I can't talk. My voice is really bad. It'll probably be dead by the time we get done doing this, but that's fine. We usually kick this program off talking about like video games we've been playing other than Stardew Valley, movies and shows we've been watching, new music, things like that. So I'll start it off. My list has been pretty short, but I do have a couple new things to talk about. The first of which is a game called Control. If y'all aren't familiar with what Control is, it is from the people who made Alan Wake and Quantum Break, the unintentional rhyme that I keep saying that I love. Remedy Entertainment made this joint, and I fucking love it. The only thing that I would change about it thus far is I would put a difficulty slider in the game because it's pretty fucking hard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a whole thing right now. Like it comes up once every couple years. I feel like at least like the conversation about difficulty sliders in video games and accessibility and all that. I think I've talked about it on my channel before, but I'm all for it. I think that people enjoy things at their own pace, and not everybody wants to play a hard game all the time. So I feel like a difficulty slider is never a bad idea for any game. But anyway, in this case, the shooting is just a little bit frustrating because the cover mechanics aren't super great and the enemies are really overpowered. But everything else about this game is extremely my shit.
That's good.
It's like, I knew after I heard that it was like comparable to Twin Peaks, I was like, okay, you had my interest, now you have my attention.
Yeah.
And then I started playing it and I was like, okay, this is like a mix of the goofy, wacky story of Twin Peaks and the singular setting vibe of a game like Inside. If you all have ever played Inside from the team that made Limbo, the whole thing takes place inside one big ass facility, and it's kind of got the same like dark, gloomy vibe that Inside had and that Twin Peaks had. But it looks really fucking good. Like obviously, I don't have a PC that can do ray tracing, which that apparently is the way to go with this game and many other games. Because have you seen any of those screenshots of the ray tracing with this game?
Yeah, I watched like a.
Holy shit.
On and off, and it's
Yeah,
bonkers.
it's fucking crazy. Like, if you don't know what ray tracing is, look into it. There's some YouTube videos out there that I looked at that helped me understand it a little bit better. But it's fucking...
Just fucking like shadows and reflections on everything.
Yes. And, like, it's crazy. Like, there was one screenshot I saw. It was just, like, a floor that was, like, wet. Like, it had puddles of water on it.
Yeah.
And you could see, like, all the lights and all the reflections in it. And, like, it's just... It reminds me of the first time, like, I brought my 4K TV home and I was just, like, looking at everything for a really long time.
Yeah.
But anyway, Control's really fucking good. I played Alan Wake last year for Extra Life. I played through like a couple hours of that on my Extra Life stream, and then I played like halfway through Quantum Break and got bored. So I was hesitant at first about this game because of the history I've had with Remedy Entertainment. But once I heard that it was like the culmination of those two games, like they finally like found their stride and they made a really good game. I think at least.
Cool.
So I'm really, really into Control right now. I think I'm probably about like 7 or 8 hours into it. I've been kind of splitting my time between that and a couple other different games, but I really do want to put some more time into it in the near future. And then also a game I haven't played yet, but will be as of this Friday. So this will be Wednesday, hopefully, when this video is going live. But Friday the 20th, me and Alex will be back for our first live stream in I think 3 weeks, and we're gonna be back with Border Boys, but with Borderlands 3 this time, a game that he nor I have played yet. So we are going to be purchasing that game and playing it on Friday. We'll be playing through the first 2 hours together from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern time on Friday. So just a reminder about that as well. The other game I played recently wasn't a game; it was a demo for FIFA 20. I'm a ride or die for EA Sports games every year. I usually get them. Madden last year burned me pretty bad. I think I talked about that, so I was hesitant to get Madden this year, but happy to report that after playing Madden since August, Madden is good this year. I think Madden's great this year.
I
So,
know there's like been like difficult years for that series because a lot of people like off and on.
yeah. Last year, I think, was personally the worst Madden game I've played in my lifetime. I'm sure there have been other ones, but it's the worst one I've played. So this one, it might just be because of how bad last year was that this one seems so good. But no, the story mode is really great. The QB1, the face of the franchise. Well, anyway, so Madden, I think I talked about that on one of our other streams. But anyway, the FIFA 20 demo is fucking great. Like, FIFA has never really had that many issues, at least for me. But from what I hear, a lot of people's issue with that comes into like the pay to win thing and like the ultimate team and all that. So I usually don't put any money into the game. I usually just buy like I don't buy like the $70 or $100 version of the sports games because I know I'm not going to be like gambling my money away on like cards. So what got me excited about FIFA this year for the first time in a long time, which I love FIFA every year because I love soccer, but these motherfuckers brought FIFA Street back in a major way.
Oh no! Oh yeah, I remember that from E3.
Holy shit! And it's so fucking good.
Yeah, that was weird.
It's called Volta mode is what they call it in FIFA 20, and it's 3-on-3 soccer on like fucking concrete soccer.
Yeah.
And like the goals are really low, like they're like maybe like up to your shin, like that's how high they are. So you have to like there's like a way different. It plays way different than regular FIFA because I played in the demo. The only things that were unlocked were Volta mode and just like play now, which was like you could pick from like 10 teams. So I played like a game. Real Madrid is my favorite international soccer team, so I played a game of them versus Paris Saint-Germain, and I lost that, but that's because Paris Saint-Germain's good and Real Madrid's been bad ever since Ronaldo left. But anyway, I'm happy to report if you liked FIFA Street when you were a kid or when you played it back in the day like me, Volta is a very good substitute for that. Nice. So I'm very excited to be playing FIFA as of next week. It'll be out, so I'll have more to report on that on the next Sunset and Stardew. I'm sure I will have played FIFA for a while. The next game to go to the other end of the spectrum, a game that I'm not so hot on right now is Gears 5. Ooh. So I'm a Game Pass member and I'm a Gears of War fan. I've played every Gears of War game except for 4. I played I think maybe the first hour of Gears of War 4 for the first time on my Extra Life stream last year. But I went back recently and played a bunch more of it because I knew that 5 was coming out. And then I'm like, well, I'm not going to have enough time to finish this, so I need to figure out what the story is. So, not that it's a huge spoiler by now, because Gears 4 has been out for a while, but the big twist at the end of 4 is like, oh, the woman Kate, like her mom is like part of the like bad guys basically. Right. Like they find like that pendant or whatever, that medal or whatever, and it's like their symbol. So 5 picks up directly where 4 left off. And actually, the nice thing about the 5 the one positive thing I can say about this game, or at least one of the positive things I could say, is that they did a really nice recap video at the beginning of 5. So I think they were expecting people to kind of hop in without having played all of 4, or like or it having been a long time since people had played it. Sure. But yeah, no, I was very excited when I first started playing this game because I was like, this is the best that Gears has ever felt. Like the shooting like feels very, very good.
Yeah.
But none of that means a goddamn thing when your game, the campaign is so fucking buggy. Like, it's one of the buggiest games I've played in so long. I think last time I checked, I've lost progress 4 separate occasions. Each time I've lost progress of up to 20 or 30 minutes. Not only that, but when you die in this game, which you do frequently if you play on normal, because I forgot that normal... Yeah, you die in real life. You die in the game, you die in real life. Stay Alive coming to theaters in 2005 or whatever that movie came out. I rewatched that movie not too long ago. I think we talked about it. It's really not that bad. But anyway.
That's so surprising.
Yeah.
I think maybe 5 minutes of the movie.
Frankie Muniz, America's Sweetheart, is in that movie. But what was I say? I don't know. It's a good question. What's Malcolm up to these days? That's the question of the stream. But anyway, so Gears 5, I'm really, really bummed out about it. Like, it's sometimes when a game is bad, I can just be like, okay, it might just be me. But in this case, not only is the game like punishingly hard on medium difficulty, which seems to be like a trend with games nowadays, but especially so for Gears. I forgot how hard Gears can be by yourself. I think honestly, Gears 5 now more than ever is meant to be played with other people. And so I think playing it by myself is where I went wrong because, man, it's fucking tough by yourself. But I pushed past all that because, like, for once, like, the story and the characters are actually kind of good. And, like, the writing isn't, like, super flat like it normally is. But, yeah, like, I'm, like, 10 hours into this game. And because I played it, like, nonstop the weekend that it came out on Game Pass. And my first like 5 hours of the game, like I was ready to like put this game in my top 10 of the year. Like I had no problems with it. And then once I hit like hour 5 or 6 is when all these problems started. And luckily, I could confirm I'm not just going crazy. There's tons of people on Twitter having the exact same problems that I'm having. So it's really, really frustrating because they've had so long. And this is like when you think about what Microsoft is as a company today, you think of Halo and Gears and not much else. Maybe Forza.
Yeah.
But you don't think of like these are their fucking like breadwinner franchises and like they just fucked over the fan base in a major way on the launch weekend of one of their biggest games.
Yeah, that sucks. That's rough.
So that's about where I'm at with it. I'm gonna finish it at some point, but right now I'm like I think the last time I played I just had another like either save point thing like that pissed me off that took me back really far or another like just game erasing thing. And then the game crashes a lot too, which I haven't had happen on the Xbox One X before. But the game actually crashes it has like okay. So the other thing I didn't mention about Control is on I'm playing it on the PlayStation 4 Pro, and it looks beautiful. But there were issues with that game for like the first couple weeks after launch. Like there's like some really like framiness, and it kind of like stutters. And the only issue that I'm still having that kind of reminds me of Gears is when you go from the pause menu back into playing the game, it stutters really bad. Like the frame rate dips and it stutters really bad. And so I get that same glitch in Gears 5, except when you go to the pause menu and leave it on there too long, it just crashes you back to the main hub.
That's wild.
So, and like, it wasn't even that long. Like, I think that weekend that it came out, I left it sitting for maybe 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And I came back and it was just at the Xbox home. And I was like, what the fuck? And so, like, just out of curiosity, because I was at a save point, I left it sit again to, like, make sure I hadn't accidentally, like, exited or whatever. But no, it just keeps doing that if you keep leaving it. So, from the...
Super sucks.
I know, it's real fucking shady business. I'm really unhappy about it, because I feel like this game would have been in my top 10 this year for sure, but I don't see how it could be now. I really don't.
Have there been, like, has there been any news?
There's been a patch that's been released, but according to what I've heard, it's only fixed it for some people, is what I've heard. So I'm going to dive back into it this weekend, I think, after... Well, no, actually, there's a reason why I won't be getting back to it this weekend that we'll get into later on this. But, yeah, no, it's super fucking sucks because right now is a really good time for a lot of really good games, and this could have been one of them for me for sure. It's a huge bummer. Then the last thing on the gaming side of things for me, I think I told Ben this, but I don't think I talked about it on the channel too much. I'm way back into Siege now. That's been eating up my time. So I finally hit level 50 in Siege, which I know for most people that are like hardcore Siege players, they hit 50 like in year 1 or whatever, but I really didn't come to Siege until year 2, and then I've been playing it off and on ever since. And then I took like what felt like a year break, but might have been shorter. But now I'm 100% back in. I'm a season pass holder for the game once again. and I have played as the two new operators. I'm going to butcher the name probably, but it's Amaru and Goyo. They're the two new operators for Siege. Amaru is the female attacking operator who has a grappling hook as her like main cool thing she does.
All right.
But I've found that it's only really useful if you're like when you're first breaching into the building, like instead of having to break through like the boards on the windows, you can just straight up like Spider-Man your way through a window now.
Hell yeah, dude.
But it's like a risk and reward situation because
Yeah.
there could be people on the other side of that thing that are just going to know like, oh,
Wow.
these people have Amaru on their team. That's going to be like a deal breaker, you know?
Yeah.
So surprisingly, I was more excited to play as her than Goyo because I typically like playing attack much more than I like playing defense.
Sure.
But man, Goyo has been a pleasant surprise for me with his exploding shield. You can...
Is he like the one that you can put it down?
yeah, yeah.
Shit that explodes off of it?
Yeah, so it's like the regular shields. There's several operators in Siege that have shields, but he's the first one to have one that explodes. So it has like a red spot on it, like a red square, and if you shoot that, it's like a big explosion too. Like you have to like stand back because it like goes into the room and then like into the hallway. But the coolest part about it is you can like latch it onto like the door frame.
Yeah.
And so like you can't board that door up, but then like it puts like a shield in the way. So like if the enemy wants to come through, they have to go over this shield. And usually by the time they like realize that it's one of those shields, you could shoot it and just fucking destroy them. And then the best part about it, which I didn't realize till the other day, was your teammates can also shoot the shield at any time they want. So that can both be a good and bad thing. But because I had a team kill. That's the only thing about that game I've never understood is why they allow friendly fire. But whatever, it's a huge topic of debate in the Siege world.
It's supposed to be like tactical, isn't it?
Yeah, like, but it's just I love Siege. It's probably my favorite shooter of all time. But the community is so fucking toxic that people.
I think if you play in ranked, like I think it's like a ricochet damage thing, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so too.
Okay.
I usually don't play in ranked because I'm not that good at it. I usually just play casual. They've added some new modes too for like there's casual, but then there's like now there's unranked. I can't think that might be what it's called, but it's like for people who want to practice ranked but don't want it to affect their score.
Okay.
So there's like all those modes now. And then over the years I've also dabbled in like situations, which is like versus like bots, and those are really difficult. And then there's terrorist hunt, which is another multiplayer mode I think, but I've never really dabbled in that one. I mostly just play it casually. These days I'm usually averaging maybe like 3 kills a game, but I don't know. It's almost like the feeling of playing this reminds me of like our early days of playing PUBG. It's like that genuine like dread and fear because you never know. And it's amazing to me that it's only 5-on-5 and they still keep finding ways to make this game feel like scary and like intimidating but fresh.
That's cool.
And it's like because you never know what the enemy's gonna do. It's like a dice roll of like different operators. So. But anyway, that pretty much sums it up for me. Those are the games that I've been playing lately. What about you, my friend?
Oh boy, I've been playing a lot, honestly. Major one that I've been playing a lot of is Mother Gunship.
Oh, yes.
The Humble Monthly.
Yes.
It's I don't know how to explain it necessarily, but if anyone's ever played like Tower of Guns, I think that was like a free game on PlayStation Plus for a while. I think that's how I first got into that game.
Mm-hmm.
And then or like a Paranautical Activity, or like it's like a first-person shooter Binding of Isaac kind of. It's a roguelike. It's a run-based game. So you're like you're sent to these ships, and you have a certain amount of like materials that you can get, but you can also find new materials on the ship. You can find like extra health, or you can find like double jumps. But the major mechanic that sets it aside from like Tower of Guns, like their previous game, is that you build out your guns.
Gotcha.
So you get like gun parts. So there's 3 different like categories of gun parts. There's connectors, which are basically just like frames with like hard points on them where you can like put other stuff. There's barrels, which are like the actual guns that shoot stuff. And then there's I forget what the actual thing is called. Caps, I think is what they're called, but they're just like buffs. They're like little gadgets that you put on the guns to like change and stuff. So you start off and like you have a particular layout, like you have a loadout, like a set loadout that you can fill up, and you like mine is usually like I like a couple of weapons that can shoot really fast, like just dump a lot of bullets, and then like a rocket launcher on the other hand.
Gotcha.
It's two-handed, like you dual wield the entire time.
Yeah, yeah.
So like I have a go-to, and this is where the game kind of fell apart for me, but like I still like it because it's fun and it's still challenging. Like there's just a loadout that I really like, and if I can do it, then I just go through the game and play it that way.
Yeah.
Which is fine. And then sometimes like during the match though, like you'll find like a different gun or a different cap or something.
Yeah.
That'll really elevate your game, so you like build onto it and stuff like that, because pretty much every like room, because they're room based, so you defeat all the enemies in a room, you go to the next room, and pretty much at the end of every room there's like a shop, and if you collect enough coins from like the enemies that fall, like you can go and buy new items to like build onto your guns. And so like you're always just kind of adding on and trying to figure out like what's my best build here, like because you can only bring so many items into the game like into the run with you. So now you're like, oh, I'm trying to get like the next thing or try to make this better.
Yeah, sure.
And like each room gets progressively harder, and so you like reach the end of that particular like ship. So usually that's like 8 or 9 rooms in, 9 or 10 rooms in, give or take.
Yeah.
So there's like environmental hazards, and there's like tons of enemies on every room that are either like stationary, like most of the enemies are like turret based, so they're just like shooting a bunch of shit at you. There's like giant turrets, there's tiny turrets, but some of them are like flying enemies. Some of them are like these like little walking tank type deals. So you're just like going around just blasting bullets at these things. And basically the main like way to survive is just never stop moving.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Always want to be circle strafing.
Yep.
And so I've been putting a ton of time into that. Like it's a great like second screen game where you can just have like a podcast going or whatever. There's a little bit of a narrative, which is interesting because Tower of Guns had a tiny bit of a narrative, but like it would cycle through different narratives, which was funny. But like this one's nice because like it has like a progression, right?
Yeah.
So like in Tower of Guns, it was strictly just run based.
Yeah.
You would go through the run, you would die, and that would be it. Like maybe you would get to the end if you were some god tier like player, which I never got to the top of the tower.
Yeah.
But like eventually like people would do it, right? On this one, like there's set ends to each kind of run, and then you come back to like a main base, and if you collect coins like on the run that you don't use, you bring them back to your base, and then you can buy like there's a like secret arms dealer there.
Yeah.
You can buy stuff from. And also there's like an XP where you can go and like boost your stats.
Okay.
So like you're picking up XP during your runs, you're picking up money during your runs. And so that's been a ton of fun for me. I just really like it.
Yeah.
It's been a real blast just trying to like survive. The one thing that saves it from like the monotony that I was talking about earlier is that there's these what is it called? They're like these manufacturer runs where they just send you with like spare parts or whatever that they have laying around. Essentially is the conceit for it. And so like your loadout is set, and you just try to beat the level with that set loadout of different parts that you're probably not super familiar with.
Yeah.
Especially if you play like me, where it's like 2 chain guns, a triangle connector, or like a 3-way connector, and like a mini rockets or a rocket launcher. Like, that's how I play it most of the levels.
Yeah.
But that's been fun where I've just been like, okay, the one of the major things that makes the game harder is if you die, you lose all the parts that you have on you.
Oh shit,
if
okay.
you carry in like a bunch of your good parts and you die, then now you're like kind of screwed because you lost like all your good parts.
Yeah.
So that's kind of annoying, but also like it gives like that really good risk reward.
Yeah.
Because like if not, there's really nothing else that's like at risk for you to fail a run.
Sure.
So I kind of like that idea. It's kind of an interesting mechanic.
No, that sounds cool. Yeah, we talked about playing that game back like months ago, and so I bought it and I played a little bit. I played a little bit by myself, and I imagine I'll have a lot more fun with it when I play it with you.
Yeah, I think co-op that game will be a blast because you'll be like sharing parts and you'll be like trying to suggest different builds.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the fun is just in experimenting in that game.
Sure.
So I'm excited to like get into it a little bit more. I was really bummed because my computer crashed while I was playing it one night.
Yeah.
And I lost all of my progress.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that sucked a lot.
So in a way, you kind of can like relate to my Gears situation. Like I'm sure you put more time into that than I put into Gears, but like it's the same kind of feeling. Like
No, it sucked a lot, and
yeah,
I was like, oh man, because it was funny. Like I spawned into the ship that's like your home base, but then up in the top right where it's like money and experience, it was like 0-0. And I was like, wait, what?
oh, I'd be so mad.
Yeah, no, it was pretty infuriating. But luckily the game's so good that I was just like, okay, I'll just
Yeah,
go through it again. I didn't mind too much.
sure. Yeah, a game like Gears, it's weird because it's like I was having fun playing it until I started having issues, and then I realized it's not like an absolutely amazing game that I don't mind replaying over and over again. Like I was kind of in it
Yeah,
just to play through the story one time to see where it
right.
goes. And then Alex, Alex from Swirly Games, shout out to him. But we have been talking about playing Horde with him, and then Billy. Shout out to Billy from X Arsenal, another one of our friends that also does some streams pretty frequently
Nice.
on Twitch. Um, so yeah, go find Alex on Swirly Games and go find Billy on X Arsenal. But we've been talking about playing Horde for a long time, so I think we'll probably finally do that here soon. Let's see. So other than that, so that's
Been playing that.
yeah,
That's the major one I've been playing a lot of. I've been like ending a lot of nights with just doing runs, or like some days have been like I'll do some runs and then like I'll do dishes and then I'll do another run. Like it's been a good way to like sort out chores.
sure,
Like I
sure,
really like games like that. I used to do that with PUBG when I would play it. Like I do a drop and then do some chores and then do like another drop and stuff like that. So
yeah,
that's been I always like games like that
oh
that
yeah,
I don't mind ending, because if not, like if it was like this game, like even though there's days, I would just keep playing until like,
yeah,
oh no, it's 6 o'clock now.
yeah,
I haven't done anything.
yep, yep.
So play a lot of that. The last two weekends, Saturday nights, I played this game with my buddy Will and his friend Brandon,
Mm-hmm.
called Golf with Your Friends.
Okay, I've heard of that. I think that I actually have that in my Steam library, but I've
Yeah,
never played it. Yeah,
it's a really basic. Um,
is it mini golf?
yeah, it's a mini golf
Okay,
game. So it's a really basic mini golf game, but the mechanics, like, it's just kind of fun. Like, it's just a mini golf game.
yeah,
So
yeah.
like, if you like mini golf and you like pretty well designed courses, and like you like being able to scream at your friends over the internet, like it's pretty fun to do.
I think I
Because
started it up once and I was very confused, like playing it by myself
yeah,
because
it's
it's
a
not.
weird.
Yeah,
The putting mechanic is strange.
yeah,
Like the way you use like you have to push the mouse forward to like set a power bar,
yeah,
and then and then you aim it and then you let go, and then that's what like fires your thing, fires the puck. But there's like the best thing about it is there's Steam Workshop support. So there's like a bunch of community made levels, because really like within the game there's only like 7 different like courses or whatever.
yeah,
So
yeah.
we were like kind of bummed when that happened, but then we found out like Steam Workshop support, and we were playing through a bunch of those levels. And like the other thing is like there's a bunch of modifiers,
Yeah,
so you can
yeah.
like, play as like a hockey puck, or like we set the ball like shape to random, and like one of them's like a cone, so you're just hitting it, and like you're just kind of going around in a circle. It's real. It's a mess of a game
Yeah.
when you play it like that. So that's like fun, and you're just like screaming at one another, like you suck, essentially, just like
Hilarious.
shit-talking one another.
Yeah.
And, like trying to play this stuff. So
That's funny.
yeah, no, that's been a lot of fun. And then I've been playing a little bit of Vermintide 2 with them too,
Oh, okay.
which is pretty cool.
Is that a Game Pass game as well?
No,
It's not?
I don't
Okay.
think so I think I bought that game.
Okay.
It might be. I don't know. I don't think it is though.
Okay.
I play it through Steam anyway. But that game's pretty fun. Like I have to be in a particular mood for it.
Is that a wave-based game?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
it's very much a Left 4 Dead.
Okay.
It's a Left 4 Dead but melee combat.
Okay.
Like that.
Gotcha.
So it's fun. Like the thing is, like they've all played that game so much that they know just exactly where to go and what to do.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just like, oh, I'm just gonna follow and just jam on the trigger a whole bunch, so I hit a bunch of rats and like.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So it's kind of just a BS game.
No, sure. Like that was like Aaron and I were talking earlier about how Borderlands is kind of like that too, where like it's
Yeah.
some games are just more fun with other people. Like by yourself,
Yeah.
you don't get the same experience at all.
Yeah, I would never play Vermintide by myself. I would be so fucking bored.
Yeah.
But I've been liking that. I've been liking the golf game a lot. Like we we were like trying to find stuff to play together because I didn't want to play Vermintide.
Yeah.
We didn't want to spend a bunch of money to like buy stuff. So
Yeah.
I think in the humble sale it was like $3 or $4.
Oh, okay.
So like, oh, we'll just get this. Like, I'll just
Yeah.
get this. And then we played not this weekend, but the weekend before that, played a bunch of Stick Fight.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Which is a ton of fun too.
Yeah.
That game's a blast. Like, it's just it's dumb, but it's also another one of those like just scream at your friend type of games.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's like super quick. So that was a blast. I enjoyed playing that game a lot.
Yeah.
And that game like was wicked cheap when I bought. I think I bought a 4-pack for like less than $10 or something like that. Because I wanted to like get I wanted to play with as many people, so I just bought a 4-pack of keys.
Yeah, yeah.
And like just been giving them like out to people that want to play when we want to play something.
Yeah. No, I love finding, like, not in that case specifically for you, but like I love going through my Steam library and finding a game I didn't even know what it was, and now all of a sudden I really like it, and it turns out it's actually good.
Yeah.
Especially a game that you can play with a bunch of people like that, because I feel like those are getting few and far between.
Yeah,
but
I'm always looking for games like that and Ultimate Chicken Horse and stuff like that.
We when I had people over a couple weekends ago, like probably like 2 or 3 weekends ago at this point, we played a bunch of Towerfall Ascension and Nidhogg 2, and I really like both those games a lot for sure. Although Nidhogg at this point, like if you get somebody who knows what they're doing, it just turns into like, at least with me and TC, our friend TC, it was just like a stalemate for like 30 minutes.
Oh yeah.
It was just like, yeah, it was just like we didn't know who was gonna win. It was fun, but it was just like, okay, somebody just fucking die already.
Yeah.
But so that was a lot of fun. Is there anything else you've been playing, or has that been pretty much?
Like stuff on my phone. I still play an Egg Inc.
Okay.
I've been getting back into that a little bit. They like added new trophies. Like at each egg level, like you have to hatch, so like you have to have so many chickens.
Yeah, yeah.
So I've been like kind of going through that. There's like contracts that I've been kind of working towards, but that's not always super fun to do.
Yeah.
I need to see if we have heaters in our stuff. So that's not, like I said, that's not always super fun, but like I just check in on that every now and then, like every morning and every night essentially I check in on it.
Yeah.
And if I'm like bored at home or whatever and I'm watching stuff, I'll probably load it up and just like hold down the button for a while.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I've been playing Pokemon Go still. They added new Pokemon to Pokemon Go.
I saw that. I think I caught 2 of them.
Yeah.
Just from like sitting around. With being sick, I haven't been out to walk lately.
Yeah.
But I caught a couple of them. Like name them for me, I guess, if you can remember the names.
Like the Unova region, so I think one of them's like Pat Rat.
Pat Rat, I got for sure. That was the one.
The ones I caught. There's like a dog one. I don't know. I don't know names of Pokemon past Silver and Gold, honestly.
Sure. Yeah.
So I want to catch the starters really bad because they're fucking adorable.
They are for sure.
The grass one looks like an asshole. Because I started playing that Pokemon Masters like gotcha game.
Oh yeah.
And that's not very fun.
Yeah, I downloaded it and like I never played it, but I like just saw everybody talking mad shit about it, and they were like, "This is just not a good Pokemon game."
It's not fun. Really.
Yeah.
It's like a fun little gotcha game, but like I think some of the economy is way off, like for having fun with it, and
yeah.
Like I've just started like auto battling through everything.
So
that
sure.
wasn't fun either. Like battling isn't super great. It's all super based around type moves. So like if you don't have the right types, you're just kind of fucked. So you have to get the trainers that have the right types, and like you have to spend the currency that you earn to get those trainers, and like hope that you get the right ones, and like because it's basically like every trainer has one Pokemon that they're like known for.
Is there anything we need right now? Sorry to interrupt. Is there anything we need from like the truck or anything?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Or like the wagon. It's been so long I can't.
Hardwood, so we can upgrade like the coop and the.
Okay. Hey, I've got some hardwood if you want mine. I actually meant that I have hardwood in the game also. But anyway, so yeah, does that about?
That game's not great. Like I still haven't installed, but I've definitely been thinking about uninstalling because it's just it's not fun, but it does scratch that itch of like Oh, I know Brock. I know Misty.
Kind of like the same itch that gets scratched when you watch Detective Pikachu. Oh, I know that
Yeah.
Pokemon.
Yeah. I know that Pokemon. Oh yeah, I can fight these weirdos. And so yeah, it's a strange one for sure. Much rather play Pokemon Go. I
I
caught
guess like I could see why
cat
you'd
Pokemon today.
I could see why you would
That was
branch
cool.
out to other games because Pokemon Go kind of has its limit.
Yeah, it does. Like, especially like now that school started and I can't go out as much
Yeah,
and like go and do stuff.
yeah,
Like the other day was Community Day for Turtwig, and I was like, I don't really give a shit about Turtwig.
yeah. Oh, for sure. I would honestly like I was like
I already
sitting.
had like a Torterra. I already had the full evolution of it.
The
I was
only
like,
thing I wanted to do was catch a shiny, and I caught 30 of those motherfuckers just laying on my couch, and
yeah,
I still didn't catch a
no
shiny.
shinies.
So yeah,
Yeah. I came home and took a nap and missed it. So
it's like okay, that's like my big thing is like I can't imagine how pissed off the people are that play this game regularly are, but for
yeah,
me that window is not nearly big enough for like the
yeah.
timed community events. It should be
I
like an
did
all day thing.
I did the Ralts one, and I like went out and just walked around my local park and did it, and I caught so many fucking Raltses,
Yeah,
which was dope. So I think if you do like, but the thing with this one was is that it was earlier in the day.
yeah,
I think that Ralts one was like 3 to 6, and this one was like 11 to 2,
yeah,
and that wasn't super ideal because
sure.
you're like, just it's a Sunday, I'm just getting up.
Yeah,
Like I just came back from eating breakfast, like getting breakfast and slash brunch or whatever you want to call it.
yeah, yeah.
And I was like, I'm not about to go walk around a whole bunch.
I feel ya. I just deposited hardwood into your chest. We have over 200
Nice.
hardwood now.
Okay, I gotta go see what that's like for the. We'll check tomorrow and see how much.
Okay.
And then been playing this Picross game. Like I'm still playing that Picross game that I probably talked about a whole bunch before.
I was like browsing through the Switch shop the other day, and they have some
Yeah.
Picross games on the Switch. And I have that stylus that I got from Mario Maker, and so I feel like a
Yeah.
Picross game could be fun on the Switch with like the touch screen.
I bet.
But I haven't looked into that yet because there's so many good free ones on the phones.
Yeah. No, I love it. Like it scratches like it's like I keep using that term, but it like gives me a good feeling in my brain when I like figure it out.
Oh
It's just, like,
sure,
a really good like little mental exercise. Like none of them are particularly difficult if you're paying attention, but like it's still like, oh, this I can do this now. Like, oh, I figured this little tiny part out. Like it just
yeah,
feels good.
yeah,
So it's really nice to like do. Like I just go to that whenever I'm like bored and just need like a little something to do, like to distract me.
yeah,
Or like I'm waiting on something, like it's a nice little like, oh, I'm just gonna sit here and like dive into this puzzle and hopefully solve it. And I like this one in particular because like you solve the puzzle and it's not just a shape, like it becomes part of a bigger shape, like it's
yeah,
like a mosaic. So that's fun, like especially when you solve like a whole one and you're like, it's this crazy cool pixel art picture.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I like that.
No, that's cool.
What else? Did I put anything else down here? I know I wrote down a bunch. Oh, I played Minecraft for a while there again.
I saw that, yeah, because you upgraded to Windows 10 so you could play it on
Yeah,
PC now, yeah.
I was playing Minecraft for a while. I found like one of those like underground temple things.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
all this like cool looking block stuff,
yeah.
and the other thing is like there's a bunch of silverfish in it, which are like these animals that spawn out of blocks.
I saw that. Yeah, those were.
Blocks.
I haven't played Minecraft in ages, but those were just introduced whenever I played it last, so however long ago that was. But those things are fucking annoying.
Yeah, they fucking suck a lot. And,
Yeah.
like they're fine, like but they're like zombies, right? Like
Yeah,
not in this game zombies, but like zombies in like zombie fiction.
yeah,
If there's like one or two of them, it's fine. But like eventually, like in that area,
Yep.
since I was so deep,
yeah.
like they just kept spawning, and then I would just die, and I would get so mad because they're like these little shitty enemies that like are nothing, but they just fuck you up because they just keep hitting you.
And don't they like eat away at blocks like termites too?
Yeah, like they
Okay.
live in the blocks.
Yeah.
So, like you'll start mining a block and it'll be like, hey, this is taking too long. So you'll be like, oh, it has a silverfish in it, and then like eventually, like you'll mine all the blocks out around it until you find all the silverfish one. But if you're like near an area that has others in it, they'll just like pop out of the blocks and like come and fuck you up.
So
And you're just
crazy.
like, crap.
Yeah, I remember them being very annoying. That was one of the biggest reasons why I quit playing.
The last time, yeah, that was the last thing that happened the last time I played. And I was like, I'm done playing this for now. And then I think the Humble Monthly shipped, and I was like, I'm gonna play fucking
Mother Gunship. Yep.
Yeah. So, because I was having a lot of fun playing Minecraft. Like that's another podcast game, and like I like made a little objective for myself. Like I was just mining out all of the blocks from the temple.
Yeah.
Because they're like cool looking, and I wanted to like make my own stuff out of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm not sure. Like, there's a lot of new tools in that game. Like, there's like a stone cutter's bench.
Sure.
Which is kind of wild.
Yeah.
Like, you can make like stairs and stuff out. So I was like, oh, I'll just use all these bricks to make like a cool house or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, fuck this.
I just had an interesting thought. Actually, fuck this.
Yeah. Because I died and I didn't want to die. I'm gonna buy another cow.
Okay, go for it.
We have so much money.
All right, so I'm gonna move along to the next thing. Do you have any other games to add to your category?
I think that's it.
Okay. So stuff that we've been watching lately. For me, my main thing, if you know anything about me, as soon as fucking the clock strikes midnight on September 1st, that means it's Horror Marathon, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Horror Marathon 2019 kicks off September 1st for me every year and goes to October 31st. So I've actually got to go to a separate list. I got to go to a separate list and tell you the movies I've watched so far. So, if you had to guess, what was the first movie, or did I already tell you in chat what the first movie I watched was to kick it off?
I did, but I definitely forgot by now.
The Blair Witch Project, which ties into because the game came out. Hey, that game's not very good.
Yeah, I watched, who did I watch play? I don't know. I watched a good amount of that game, I feel like.
Yeah.
And it seems not great. It seems fine.
I'm really bummed out about it because they've literally had since 1999 to make a good Blair Witch video game, and they just can't seem to do it.
Yeah, I definitely watched the Game Informer replay of the old Blair Witch games, and those seem even worse. So.
Yeah, I had those, and back when I was a kid, I thought they were cool because the idea of a Blair Witch video game was so cool that it got the best of me. So luckily, this time it was on Game Pass, otherwise I would have been taken for a fool yet again.
Yeah.
But back in the day, I don't know if this is true, but I think the main way that people got those games was by buying a box set, because that's what I did. My parents bought me a box set that had Blair Witch 1 and Book of Shadows, Blair Witch 2 on DVD, and then it came with like a little like fold out, like, do you remember like the little like PlayStation 1 demo discs, like the fold out cases they used to be in with like 2 plastic hubs for like the discs? It was one of those, and it had like 3 plastic hubs because there were 3 separate discs for all the Blair Witch games, and it came with a fucking pewter like Blair Witch necklace too, which I had forever, and then it broke. But that box set back in the day was like $20, which is a fucking amazing deal for all that. But anyway, so Blair Witch Project was the first movie I've watched since then. And then, since September 1st, I've watched Halloween, the 2018 version, which was fucking phenomenal. Scream 2 and Scream 3, which I only watched because I've seen Scream 1 so many times that I was like, I need to watch Scream 2 and Scream 3 a couple more times. So I did that. I've seen 2 episodes of Are You Afraid of the Dark? The Tale of the Laughing in the Dark and the Tale of the Lonely Ghost, both of which I remembered from my childhood and scared the fucking bejesus out of me. The one was like a girl like talks to this ghost girl in the mirror, and they end up trading places, and then
that sounds terrifying.
and then the girl like gets out because the ghost girl's like, I just want to be reunited with my mom because I've been stuck in this mirror forever. And then they like convince the mean girl to go in the mirror, and then she's trapped in there for a while.
That's all right though.
So it's fine. Yeah, she's the mean girl, so she's fine. You know, not to be convinced with Lindsay Lohan's Mean Girls movie, where they like, you know, but I guess kind of in a similar way, like they saw the light at the end of the tunnel by the end of the movie.
Yeah, Lindsay Lohan can get trapped in a mirror for all I care too.
All right, well. That's really funny. They should remake it. Well, actually, they are remaking Are You Afraid of the Dark, and I think it's premiering in a couple weeks on Nickelodeon.
Yeah,
I'm fucking stoked.
Or is that a movie?
It's like a mini-series event.
Okay, because scary stories to tell in the dark, and apparently that was bad.
Yeah, I heard that it's...
Bummer.
I know, because I love those books, the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark books. Those books are fucking great. But anyway, so I'm going to watch more Are You Afraid of the Dark? I'm actually wearing a shirt right now. I'm going to stand up so the camera can see it.
What is your shirt?
It says, submitted for the approval of the Midnight Society on it. So,
that's cool.
So I got the shirt from Homage, which is actually a clothing company out of Columbus. But anyway, I also had to do it to him and watch Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. And that movie's still fucking great.
The one that's still like, is that the only one where it's like, no, this shit's like supernatural. This isn't. These aren't masks.
Yep. So it's not masks. Yep. And then
one of them had like a real like alien in it too.
Yeah, I think yeah. So that one's crazy. Well, anyway, the crazier thing is there's a sequel to Zombie Island out now.
Whoa.
That just came out like last week, I think, but it's $15. It's $15. They got the original voice of Fred to do Fred's voice and Scooby's voice, I think. And then they got Matthew Lillard to do Shaggy, and he sounds like he's been smoking a pack of cigarettes every day since the live action Scooby-Doo movie was released. Because he sounds terrible, does not sound anything like he used to as Shaggy. But yeah, none of the original cast is involved or anything. But the original voice of Fred is like still like there's a trailer out for it. So I need you to do me a favor when we're done here and go watch the trailer for the new Zombie Island, because I think it's just called I think it's called Return to Zombie Island. It apparently people have like a big issue with Scooby-Doo that I haven't figured out yet, but apparently the issue they have with this is that they're saying the new one is too funny and that the original was a legitimate scary movie. And I'm like, there's tons of funny shit. There's tons of funny shit in it. Like the part where Shaggy like stacks up that big ass sandwich and Scooby like sucks that shit down when he turns his head. Fucking classic.
Yeah, no, there's always funny stuff in Scooby-Doo. That's what makes it Scooby-Doo.
So people were like, oh yeah, Zombie Island scared me as a kid, so this one needs to scare me as an adult. And I'm like, quit putting Scooby-Doo on a pedestal. But anyway, the worst movie I've watched this month was a movie on Shudder called Chopping Mall.
That sounds like the best movie.
You might like it. I went in expecting a cheesy and bad movie, and I got that and then some. Like I was hoping it would be like cheesy and fun to watch, but it was mostly just really boring. But it's kid.
You always hate that.
You hate to see it, but it was kids like it was like these teenagers that wanted to like have sex and stay the night in the mall, and they all worked in the mall, so like they somehow like managed to be like, okay, like we're gonna stay in the mall. And so they do it, and then there's these fucking robots that the head.
Oh, I think they did that on How Did This Get Made?
I think they did.
I was gonna ask you if there was robots in it.
There's robots. Those are the killers, by the way. There's no human killer in it. It's killer robots that. Yeah, it's a whole thing. It's oh man. There's one part that's really fucking amazing though that absolutely killed me. This woman's like walking towards this pane of glass. The robot like shoots her and she like goes through the pane of glass, which like logic tells us she should be covered in like cuts and scrapes and blood, but she's just fucking literally unfazed, gets up, like she uses like the glass on the ground to like boost herself up as she's standing up, and then she's just like fine and walks away, and she ends up like saving the day. Spoiler alert for Chopping Mall. But then I watched two very good horror movies that are some of my all-time favorites. I watched The Return of the Living Dead, which is my second favorite zombie movie behind only Night of the Living Dead by George Romero, the finest zombie film ever made. And then, actually, so then I watched The Devil's Rejects, which was Rob Zombie's second movie after House of a Thousand Corpses,
right?
Which I think... This isn't necessarily a hot take because I think a lot of people agree with this, but I think House of a Thousand Corpses, The Devil's Rejects, and the first Halloween movie are the only good movies that Rob Zombie has made. I think all of his other movies are fucking garbage. But especially that second Halloween movie, that was a disgrace to the Halloween franchise, and I know I'm not...
Did he do a Texas Chainsaw?
Nope.
Okay.
He never has. He did Lords of Salem. He did 31. He did 3 from Hell, which is the newest in the House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects series that supposedly is not very good, but I still want to see it. He was in talks for a while to do a remake of The Blob, but it never happened.
Who did the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
I don't think anybody famous did it, and there's been a couple. Okay. There's been a couple new Texas Chainsaw Massacres. So like the newest one was a 3D movie that I saw in theaters in 3D, and that was like early 2010s when that came out. It had some famous rapper in it too. But anyway, that movie was okay. Then there was one in like the mid 2000s that had like Jessica Biel in it and a couple other famous people. Anyway, Rob Zombie didn't direct any of those. And then me and Christa just finished, actually like about an hour before we started recording this, we watched a movie called Haunt. And I bought it and watched it on the, like just solely on the fact that like it's like been the talk of the horror world for like months. And so like everybody's saying like it's like the best horror movie. they've seen in years, and it's like game changing and stuff. We watched that movie, and I swear to God, because like sometimes if a movie's bad, I'll like stop paying attention for a little bit.
Yeah.
I paid 100% attention to this movie, and I do not get the hype. It's so fucking basic. It's literally just like these like middle age, or not middle age, but like early 20 adults that are like want to go to this extreme haunted house, and then they start getting picked off once they're in there. And then the ending was just some nonsense fucking bullshit. So like I don't, it's just like it's crazy because like I hear about it all the time from like Bloody Disgusting, which I consider to be like probably the biggest like horror publication out there. At least that and Fangoria probably. But man, like I'm so disappointed that I spent money to buy this movie because it has like a 7 out of 10 on IMDb. And like every review, everybody's like, "Oh yeah, it's game changing." Like I've never seen a horror movie like this, and I'm like, I can literally tell you like 10 other horror movies I've seen that are exactly like it.
Weird.
It didn't do anything different. It was just it was so disappointing. But anyway, so that's what I've watched so far. But I'm gonna watch plenty more between now and then. And then as far as other stuff, I'm gonna hurry it up here because we're approaching like the hour mark of this episode already. I finally started watching Letterkenny on Ben's recommendation. And the show's fucking hilarious. So don't do bad like I did and wait forever to watch it after all your friends are done watching it. Because TC was mad. He was just like, "You fuckers wait until after I was done watching it to start watching it." Now he's like, "Now I have nobody to talk about it with." But no, that show is so fucking funny. It's so fucking funny. It's legitimately like one of the funniest shows I've ever seen. Like Christa's into it with me too. Like she keeps asking like, "When are we gonna watch more?" And to be honest, I've been kind of holding back because I don't want it to end because it's such a short. The seasons are so short.
Yeah.
The new one's coming out, I think.
Oh, the cliffhanger too. So.
The new season is coming out like this month or next month, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I've seen like a lot of like old clips and stuff being posted in like preparation for the next season coming out.
Sure. So yeah, so that show is really funny. That's on Hulu. So watch that if you have Hulu. And then the only other thing I've been watching is the final season of Ballers on HBO.
Oh, I need to watch HBO stuff.
Yeah. I still need to watch The Righteous Gemstones as well because Aaron keeps telling us how good that is. Shout out to Aaron from Final Fridays and other stuff on this channel. But yeah, the final season of Ballers is just more ballers, but they decided to get my fucking favorite football player ever in this season, and I'm really stoked about it. Yeah, Odell Beckham Jr. Yeah, he's in it this season. He's a Cleveland Brown now. And the Cleveland Browns just won a game the other night, too.
Nice.
23-3 versus the Jets. But the Jets are a heaping trash fire of a team, so we'll see how they do on Sunday versus the Rams. But anyway, that wraps up everything that I've been watching, shows and movies. How about you?
Watched Hobbs and Shaw when that came out, but I don't remember when that was. So
I was going to say, I think we talked about it already because I remember talking about it in our last episode, but that movie's fucking great.
Movie's all right. I'm still watching Woo Assassins.
Oh, yeah.
With the dude from The Raid.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's great, but it's not terrible. It's like cheesy
yeah.
in a fun way. And there's some good fight scenes in it. It's weird.
Okay.
Because, like, basically, yeah, it's weird. It has a lot of bad CG in it. And it's, like, he's a part of the triad, which is weird because he's only, like, I think his actual ethnicity is, like, only half Chinese, if he's even Chinese at all.
Yeah.
And so it's strange. It's interesting because you, like, learn a lot about Chinese culture through it. Like, I have at least a little bit. Like, you get a little bit of, like, Chinatown in San Francisco and stuff, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah,
so
sure.
Like, that's kind of neat because you don't see too many, like focused on Chinese. Like, I don't think that's, like, when you think of, like, Asian or Eastern, like, you think Japan.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I feel like China doesn't have a lot of leading people in the West, at least in Western, like, TV
yeah,
shows.
no, for sure.
So that's been a fun time. Like, it's been fine.
Yeah.
I like watched a lot of it one night, and I haven't really watched much of it since then. I watched Hyperdrive.
Okay.
Netflix.
Okay.
I watched all of that in a weekend. That's pretty fun. It's like Ninja Warrior, but for cars.
That sounds pretty cool.
And it's like a really fascinating. Like, you can tell, like, it's definitely the first season anyone has ever tried anything like this.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And so, like, I'm excited to see what the next season brings, just because I don't even know what I'm doing right now.
I'm fishing right now is what I'm doing.
But yeah, it's was cool. Like, it's really interesting. I wish they did like a lot more of like they skip a lot of runs, which is kind of annoying.
Oh, that sucks.
Because like which is weird. Like, I don't like that because I would rather just watch all the runs raw. Like they just kind of edit out a lot of the stuff.
Yeah.
And so, but it's like fascinating to watch. Like, it was really interesting, and like none of them are like. There's only like one dude who like kind of sucks throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I think he gets eliminated like almost immediately.
That's awesome.
So, like, none of them are like mean to one another. They're all like super supportive of one another. And like the final showdown is pretty good. So yeah, it's a fun show. It's really interesting just to see like, oh, we created this obstacle course for cars.
Yeah.
So that's been something interesting to watch. Like, I really enjoyed my time with that. Like, you don't have to pay super close attention, so like fine to have on in the background while I was doing chores and stuff.
Yeah.
Start watching that. I watched Giant Bombs Burgle My Bananas, which is just
beautiful nonsense. Yep.
Nonsense. Like, it's just ridiculous. It's
For sure.
Nothing.
Yep.
It's so weird. The last episode was so ridiculous because all they did was like spin this wheel
Yep.
for like half an hour.
Yep.
So I'm gonna watch the archive of. I think that might go up. Hopefully it'll be up soon. For a long time I was having a lot of trouble with Giant Bomb videos. Like, I had to download them because they would like stutter. So that was
I was gonna say like I've had problems forever with my Apple devices with streaming stuff. Like, there's like sometimes when I go to stream UPF on Fridays, the Unprofessional Fridays, for people who aren't familiar with it, it'll like lag so much and like stutter so much that I just have to wait and watch the archive, which really sucks.
Yeah, but this was like, even if I was watching the archive, like it would be like the audio would sync weird and like, the video would be like stuttery in weird ways.
Interesting.
So
did you reach out to their support about that, or?
I just started downloading the videos.
Okay.
Because my download speeds are fast enough to where it would be like.
I was gonna say I actually like had an ongoing email conversation with Rory about my issues for a while, and we just ended up not fixing them. And I was like, "It's okay, man. Like, it's not your fault, but it still sucks."
But I like didn't care enough, really.
Yeah.
So I was just like, we'll just fucking deal with this some other time.
I will say it was a super surreal moment. It was a surreal moment talking to someone in an email who I'd been watching on Giant Bomb for years. So that was like really surreal. Like, I was expecting it to be like Dave or somebody getting back to me, you know what I mean? But yeah, shout out to fucking Giant Bomb. I'm gonna show off my pop socket on my phone, but it's our favorite video game website by far. It's unrivaled. Like, it's yeah.
Been watching. I like caught up on a lot of their stuff last week. There's a time where I wasn't able to watch a lot of their stuff. There was a weekend I must have been doing something or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And so I like ended up having to catch up on a lot of their stuff. Trying to think of anything else I've been watching on TV. No, because like normally I don't watch a lot of like TV, like Netflix or movies.
Sure. Yeah.
Jess is around because we watch that stuff together.
Yeah.
So like other stuff, I'm just like watching YouTube stuff. A lot of times I caught up on like a lot of Game Informer stuff from like Tokyo Game Show. I watched a bunch of stuff on my phone today from like Seeker.
Oh, okay.
It was like asleep, so I just like put it on. I was like, what can I watch that probably has good subtitles and I don't really have to like listen to get the most out of it. So I watched that, and I watched some like SB Nation videos. There's this guy on there called John, whose name is John Boys, who does like a bunch of like comedy videos.
Yeah.
It's a lot of stats driven like comedy about stuff.
Yeah.
So he was doing this one series. He did this series today called Fumble Dimension. And it like he takes NBA 2K19 and he like puts all the players in the draft class down to like overall 40s.
Oh my god.
Like lowers them to as low, like he gives them all minimum stats for everything.
Okay.
And so it's just like simulating how long does it take for the NBA just to like basically die.
Yeah, sure.
And that was really funny to watch.
I need to look into that then.
The game just kept fucking crashing on him when he like tried to look up stats and stuff because the players didn't have enough playtime.
That's really funny.
Like there's like one player who was like an overall 54, but because all the other players were like 5'4" and he was like 6'6" or something like that, he was just like becoming MVP every year for like 10 years.
Oh my god, that's fucking amazing.
Like, rebound, he was making like on average like 90 rebounds a game or something.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so it was like a whole. That was super fun to like just kind of pay attention to. And I watched one about like the 2010 Chargers or something. Who
Yeah.
had like the best offense in the league and the best defense in the league, but had like basically lost all the games that they lost based on special team stuff.
Yeah.
So like massive punt returns and like blocked field goals and blocked punts. Like they had two blocked punts within like minutes of one another.
Oh my god.
So
That's cool.
yeah,
That sounds like something that would be up my alley that I would enjoy.
yeah, yeah. I really like that. And then what was the other thing? I feel like there's one other thing. Oh, there's like that new Unraveled out that I watched that was really good.
Oh yeah, from Polygon for folks that don't know
Yeah.
about that. The last Unravel that I watched was the Zelda food one, and I like that one a lot.
That one was really fun. I watched
Yeah.
that one when I was home over the summer.
My two favorites that Brian's done, that's his name, right, Brian?
Yeah, yeah.
I really like when Brian did the Poke Rap one.
Yeah, no, that was fucking
That's
hysterical.
fucking legendary. And then the Zelda one's probably like a close second for me. I really like the Zelda
really
one.
Good.
Yeah.
I don't know, all of them are really good. This new one's really good. He's like calculating his pet's HP, like, trying to find his pet's hit points.
That's
So
amazing.
he like creates this like spreadsheet observation thing because he talks to like a real field biologist.
Yeah.
Like to figure out how they like check stuff like that. I don't know. It was really good. It was fun.
Okay. He makes a lot of really good videos for Polygon.
Yeah. I watched the newest Overboard, which was like a tabletop RPG.
Yeah.
And that was like kind of long. I didn't care much for that, but yeah, just watching my normal like YouTube stuff, quick looks and replays and stuff like that. The new replays have been like live, so they've been a little bit more fun to watch because they like go for longer and stuff like that.
We got HBO back for Ballers, but I think really I got HBO back for Watchmen, which premieres next month.
Oh yeah, that's
which
true.
I'm really excited to watch that next month.
I think Aaron got HBO back for something.
Probably for the Righteous Gemstones.
Yeah, and so I have that now.
Okay.
Mooch off of his.
Sure.
He sent me like a $10 Amazon gift card and was like, also enjoy 3 months of HBO when it was my birthday, so that was fun.
Nice.
But yeah, that's all I've been watching. Been listening to like, I started listening to a new like the GB Devcast.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I found myself to like I've been like running out of podcasts on the weekends because I just listen to them all. Like I'll go to the library. I do a bunch of schoolwork on the weekends at the library. So I just listen to podcasts there, and then like on Sundays I'm like I have nothing to listen to, and so I like plug that in and like have been listening through that backlog. The Adventure Zone is like their next episode is the finale of this arc.
Okay.
So that's been fun. And yeah, I've been listening to some music.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, that Keep Flying you introduced me to. I listened to that a bunch.
Yeah, they opened up for a band that we saw called Real Friends. We went to a bowling alley show, which was a lot of fun. Yeah. And Keep Flying was like one of the most impressive like opening bands that I've seen in a long time. They're actually coming back to Lakewood again in December, but it's on a Thursday night. But they're opening up for another band that me and Randy both like called Home Safe.
Okay.
We saw Home Safe.
December are they coming?
December 5th.
Ah, fuck.
Yeah, so like just before your whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like a $12 show too. But if it wasn't on a Thursday night, I'd probably go for sure.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna go and get us a new barn. I think.
All right, sounds like a plan.
Yeah, no, that music's dope. I've listened to. The other night I listened to that Sylvan Esso album from like years and years ago.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because I wanted to listen to something at the gym, and I was like, what is this? Like, will still like get me going.
Yeah.
So I listened to that. That's good. Still.
Yeah.
There's like a few albums every year that I like come back to like that. I just like, oh yeah, I like this.
Yeah.
And so like I just started listening to it. There's this album called Zelda and Chill.
Oh, John showed me that album recently, actually.
John showed me too.
Yeah.
And that's excellent.
Yeah.
There's a Mario one which is not good. I don't like it very much.
It works for.
It's really not good.
It works for Zelda though, which is crazy.
The Zelda one is excellent. Like it's by far some of the best like chill hop type of music I've listened to.
Yeah.
Because I was like trying to find. Here's a dumb thing that I'll talk about just life wise. That has to do with music. For whatever reason, the library Wi-Fi, like the library network, has Spotify blocked.
Oh my god.
And so I was like, so I've had to like download a bunch of music to listen to.
Yeah.
And luckily, that was in my like check it folder.
Yeah.
My check it playlist that
Yeah.
I downloaded all the time, just because like if I'm in the car, like I'll put on an album that I just want to check out.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I guess we're listening to this then. Like, it was just really that's been a bizarre experience because that's blocked. Like Pandora is blocked. So I've just like half the time, like if I run a podcast, half the time I'm listening to downloaded music, or I'm just like I just have another window with lo-fi beats to like study and write to on in the background.
What could possibly be the reason for blocking the music streaming?
It's very weird.
Huh.
So I guess we're doing a big coup.
We're doing a big coup? Okay.
Yeah. We can get some ducks.
The only new music that I think I've listened to that's like super noteworthy, I really fucking love Post Malone's new album.
Yeah.
I've been listening to that like crazy. He's an artist I classify as like I'm probably gonna always like the stuff that he puts out just because he's a super happy guy on stage from what I've seen. He's just really thankful to be famous because he was like basically homeless before. And I know people are quick to like poke fun at him like, well, he still looks homeless now, but it's like I don't know. To me I'm not really I don't care how he looks as long as his music sounds good.
Yeah.
And I don't know, he just like we talked to some friends recently, like where one of our friends was like, I fucking hate Post Malone so much. It's like he's literally done nothing like offensive at all.
Yeah,
like
I don't particularly love like all of his music. I like
Yeah.
the Sunflower song a lot. It's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
It fits really well in that Spider-Man movie.
Oh yeah, for
I
sure.
think I like it mostly because I like that Spider-Man movie a lot.
Yeah, I was gonna say that Sunflower song made it onto the new album too, which I thought was crazy considering how long ago it came out. But yeah, it's on the album too. But man, that whole album. Then there's a song with Ozzy Osbourne on it, and it's fucking great. Like somehow Ozzy was like hospitalized recently, so I was like, how did he record this? But I guess they recorded it a while ago. But it's like the best Ozzy has sounded in years.
That's cool.
But no, that album has been really fucking good. And then there's a band I listen to called Microwave that just put out a new album on Friday, and that album is good. And then what else have I been listening to? I think that's pretty much it. But speaking of music, though, I did finally get to see Jack White live for the first time in one form. We went to the Rack on Tours concert in Columbus. Oh my God. So we get there, and if you know anything about Jack White, he's one of the fucking douche artists that makes you lock your phone up in a bag before you go into the show. And it's in like a pretty sturdy like fabric bag that like is pretty hard to get open. It's like a button with like a needle in it, and it like locks, and it's like magnetic too. So it's like double.
Yeah.
But anyway, me and Randy, our friend Randy, were fucking around with our bags because why wouldn't we be? And we were like, oh my God, we were like, how much you want to bet one of us could probably get this open if we tried hard enough? I was like, if anybody could do it, it'd be Randy because he has muscles for days. So Randy's like sitting there like pulling as hard as he possibly can on this poor bag, and the bag is just not budging. And he's like, wait a minute. He's like, I got a finger inside the bag. I can like feel my phone. He's like, why don't you try putting your finger in and like see if you can touch your phone? And I did that, and my bag just popped open. Like, after one try, I was like, they definitely did not secure this bag properly. Yeah. So at that point, I looked around, because this was in between Olivia Jean, the opener, and the Rack on Tours. But it was still dark out because we were up on the lawn. I looked around. There was not a single person who had their phone out. So I'm pretty confident in saying, unless the same thing happened to somebody else, I might have been the only person at that Jack White show that got access to their phone. Wow. So at that point, I was like, hey, I messaged Ben earlier saying, like, joking that I was going to take a video for him. So I took it out and I held the phone to my chest and just recorded, like, and I just recorded the stage in between the two, performers. And then I proceeded to put the phone in my pocket. And then when the Rack on Tours came on, I waved the bag around. And it was just like flopping everywhere. But man, it's such a fucking funny story. But it was a good show. We were disappointed because they only played like 2 songs that we really knew by them. Like they played basically the entire new album, like 9 or 10 songs from it.
I didn't care for that new album. I listened to it on the drive.
It's not as good as the old ones for sure. So they played and then they turned every song into a jam. So like 3-minute songs were like 5 or 6 minute long songs. So like it kind of dragged a little bit, especially since we didn't know the words or anything. The only thing I will say is we got to hear Steady As She Goes, which is the first Rack on Tour song I ever heard. And then we also got to hear Many Shades of Black, which has been like a rarity on this tour. So I really...
Milkman song?
No, they did not.
That's a good song. That's a fun story song.
They also did not play Salute Your Solution, which I thought I was really angry about.
That's a bummer.
But anyway, and then so that was that concert experience. Overall, they sounded really great live. Like their audio mix was just really good.
Yeah.
Like it's one of the few shows I've been to in recent years where like I don't know, like the sound mix was so good I could clearly hear both singers and every individual instrument.
Yeah.
So that's been interesting to that was interesting to watch, like to see in person, like a good mixed show for once. Because I go to so many shitty like bar shows or like club shows, which actually me and Alex and our buddy Phil from work are going to a metal show. Because as far as I know, these are the only close friends I have that are into metal. Because I know you guys definitely aren't. But we're going to see a band called Wage War in a couple weeks in Lakewood, and I'm really excited for that. But anyway, in other news, I will be attending my first Ohio State Buckeyes game this Saturday. Ooh. And I'm very excited about that as someone who's been an Ohio State Buckeyes fan my whole life, but has never really wanted to pay $300 for a football ticket.
Sure.
So Aaron hooked me up with a good deal on that because Elena can't go that weekend. So that worked out. So I will report back on the next Sunset and Stardew with that. The only other thing I had that I wanted to cover, I know you could give a shit about this, but it kind of impacts you too because it's kind of gaming and streaming related. All the new Apple stuff that got announced this week or last.
Apple Arcade stuff seems neat.
So yeah, so I pre-ordered the new iPhone 11 Pro Max. I'm upgrading from the XS Max. I'm gonna get $600 for the trade-in of my phone, basically cutting the cost of the new phone in half, which is gonna be really nice for making the monthly payments on it. But yeah, I fucking fell in love with that phone. Like I'm not allowed to watch videos and stuff at work anymore, really. But I had like that conference on, and I was like kind of watching it, like mostly listening to it. And the Apple TV Plus stuff is really cool. $4.99 a month for Apple streaming service is definitely a way lower price than people expected it to be, I think. Sure. And then Apple Arcade being $4.99 a month, and then with me buying the new phone, I get a year free of Apple TV Plus.
Oh, that's cool.
So that'll be cool.
What's
but
that all about? I don't even know what Apple TV Plus is.
So an Apple TV, because some people get really confused. I know most people our age, this is going to be an explanation. If you want to tune me out for the next couple minutes while I explain this, an Apple TV is not an actual TV like my parents seem to think it is. It is a streaming box with a remote. Yeah. Think of it as like a Roku or a Roku stick or a Fire Stick or something, but it's a box. And it's an expensive box because everything Apple is expensive, but it's the best streaming box I've ever owned, if that means anything to anybody. But Apple TV Plus is Apple's new streaming service because it's 2019 and everybody has to have a streaming service.
Sure.
And so I think the biggest news to come out of it is the fact that they got a show. I can't remember the name of it. It's a TV show about making a TV show, basically. And it has Jennifer... Yes, exactly. But no, it has Jennifer Aniston, Reese Witherspoon, and Steve Carell in it, just to name the three biggest stars. Yeah, sure. But no, the thing that didn't occur to me was that this is the first time Jennifer Aniston's been on TV since Friends ended in 2004 or whatever.
That's wild.
So that's like what's crazy about that to me. So like Apple was like a big enough deal to where they're like, hey, Jennifer Aniston, come back and be a TV actress. And she's like, okay. So that show, I just got the newest issue of Entertainment Weekly, which is now Entertainment Monthly, by the way.
Oh, no.
But they didn't change the name. But I got pissed because I stopped getting issues regularly. I was like, I did my like subscription lapse or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, and the name is still Entertainment Weekly, but they're only sending it once a month now.
That's dumb.
But anyway, there's a really like fascinating show coming out called CSEE with Jason Momoa. Where that comes out like November, I think, because it launches November something is when this service launches, and I think that'll be on there day one too. But it's like in a world where everybody's blind and then a baby is born that can see.
Oh.
And the trailer made it seem pretty interesting to watch.
A movie like that.
I think so too. I think you're right. Are you thinking of The Village?
No.
Okay, not like that, because she was like blind and she like made it out of the village in that movie.
I've literally never seen a minute of The Village.
That movie's fucking terrible, so you never need to. But anyway, really excited to sum it all up. Really excited about the new iPhone. Hopefully, it will be hopefully it'll be delivered on time on Friday, like they say it will be. Christa's upgrading to the iPhone 11, and she's excited about that going from the 8 to the 11, and we'll get money selling her phone also. But yeah, and then really excited to try out the Apple Arcade stuff when I get the new phone. I think it actually goes live tomorrow, but I don't necessarily want to download a bunch of games to a phone that I'm going to be, wiping clean on Friday.
Sure. Yeah.
So I'll probably wait until I get the new phone on Friday if it actually, because that's the thing I don't understand is like they guaranteed like release date delivery on our phones. Hers is from Verizon, mine's from Apple, and hers shipped out. We got my phone Friday and hers Sunday of last week. Her phone shipped already. Mine still hasn't even shipped yet.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the chances are of me actually getting it on Friday are good or not, unless they have like some crazy Amazon like 1-day delivery or 2-day delivery thing.
Yeah.
But I just know that if it hasn't shipped by tomorrow, they're definitely going to get a call from me because they like guaranteed me delivery on Friday. But I'm excited about Apple TV Plus, excited about Apple Arcade, which is like you just play a bunch of games for $5 a month, and a lot of them seem really cool. So I'm currently sleeping in the game, and I'm actually going to be sleeping in real life here shortly. So that's what we're going to call it for today. Thank you everybody so much for your patience in this time. Thank you for your patience in this time of me having bronchitis and a head and chest cold, and as you could hear throughout this video, the annoying coughing. So sorry if that got on anybody's nerves. But we're hoping to get back on a somewhat regular recording schedule. We hope to have this posted today or at the latest Thursday of this week. But make sure you tune in on Friday, like I said, to Adjective Gaming Twitch channel for our Border Boys stream of Borderlands 3. We'll be playing through the first 2 hours of Borderlands 3 together, me and Alex from Swirly Games.
Sweet.
And then check out Christa's, like I said, check out Christa's ongoing series, the 100 Baby Challenge and The Sims 4. I think she has like 5 or 6 episodes up on the YouTube channel now.
Oh boy.
And those are getting some pretty steady traffic and stuff. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for us today. Again, thank you for your patience. We hope to get back to a regular schedule soon, or at least posting more frequently than not posting at all for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
But I think that's going to do it for us today. Thank you again, everybody, for watching. Thanks, Ben, for being here with me again today.
Bye, bud.
And we'll see you guys next time.